Students, welcome back to our class, biological classification. So we are discussing bacteria. We have done the cell structure of bacteria, and today we will continue with bacteria, and probably we will can also do archaebacteria. So let us start with our discussion. So last day we have done the cell structure of bacteria, and so from there we can sum up the generalized character of bacteria. So it is prokaryotic with circular naked DNA which acting as a chromosome without histone protein. They have a rigid cell wall generally made up of peptide or glycan. They often have mesosomes and all. Nutrition, they are autotrophs or heterotrophs. Autotrophs or heterotrophs in nutrition. The reserve food is generally the glycogen, and reproduction by asexually by binary fission. But sexual reproduction, sexual reproduction, there is, in true sense, it is not reproduction, it is only the recombination of the genetic material. It is done by transformation, conjugation, transduction and all, and many of them are the nitrogen fixers. So these are generalized characters of the bacteria. Now we will discuss about the classification of bacteria. Now these bacteria can be classified according to the shape. You know that according to shape the bacteria can be classified, like the round are called coccus. There may be single monococcus or two, maybe at the same two together diplococcus, or they may form a linear chain called streptococcus, or they may cluster together forming staphylococcus. So various round bacteria or coccus are there. They may be rod shaped, that is bacillus. Very common is the lactobacillus. We know that curd, formation of curd is done by lactobacillus, so it is rod shaped bacteria. Another one is spirillum. This is spiral, you can see here, these are the spiral bacteria, spirochete and all. And another one is the comma shape, that is vibrio, and this is the, you can see here, this is the vibrio. Vibrio cholerae is one of the common example of vibrio. And in addition to it, the bacteria can be also classified according to the presence of the flagella. Now they maybe have single flagella, that is monotrichous, or two flagella, then ditrichous, clear, or there may be cluster of flagella at one side, that is cephalotrichous, or cluster of flagella on both ends, that is lophotrichous, or flagella can be distributed throughout the surface, that is peritrichous, and there may be no flagella at all, that is actrichous. So it can be divided on the basis of the presence of flagella also. Bacteria can be divided on basis of the staining method also, that is gram negative and gram positive, but we will discuss this in our chapter because this is there in the chapter cells, so we will discuss it in the that chapter only. So let us move to the mode of nutrition. So let us move to the mode of nutrition. You can see here, and a bit I want to tell about respiration. They may be aerobic, they may be anaerobic, they may be obligatory or facultative, aerobic, anaerobic. Clear? And nutrition, you can see here, there are mainly two types, autotrophic and heterotrophic. So nutrition is of mainly two types, autotrophic and heterotrophic. Autotrophic nutrition, if they derive the energy from the sunlight, that is called photosynthetic or photoautotroph. Clear? But if they are photosynthetic, they have a specialized chlorophyll which is not equivalent to the chlorophyll of the green plants, that is called chlorobium chlorophyll or bacteriochlorophyll. and they do not use water as the source of hydrogen, clear, and instead they use hydrogen sulfide, so they do not release oxygen for when they perform photosynthesis, and that's why this type of photosynthesis is called anoxygenic photosynthesis. So bacteria perform anoxygenic photosynthesis as because they do not use water, instead they use hydrogen sulfide or like that as a reducing agent. And bacteria may be chemoautotropic. Chemoautotrophs or chemosynthetic, in that case they do not derive energy from the sunlight, but they break the larger inorganic compounds like ammonia and derive the energy from there only. So they are called chemoautotrophs, like Nitrobacter, they are all chemoautotrophs. And they may be heterotrophs also. Generally they take when the heterotrophs, they take the soluble, they digest they take the soluble food, and they may be parasitic, saprophytic, symbiotic, etc. So this is about the nutrition. So photosynthetic, anoxygenic photosynthesis like chlorobium and all, and chemosynthetic like Nitrobacter and all, using inorganic substances to derive their energy. They may be heterotrophs, they may be parasitic, saprophytic, and symbiotic also. But they use the soluble food when they are heterotrophs. Now, another thing which is significant is the mode of reproduction. So already we have learned that bacteria can undergo asexual reproduction, that is by binary fission, or they can undergo sexual reproduction, and sometimes for their perennation they also forms endospores. That is not in true sense reproduction, that is a mode of perennation, but the major, in general case, they perform binary fission. Clear? You can see first of all what happens. This is the nucleus. First of all, the nuclear material replicate. The nuclear replication of the genetic material starts, and this genetic material replicate, and finally it replicates, and then the cell cytoplasm also starts dividing, and finally it develops into two individual cells. So this is about the binary fission. Now, it is the most common mode of reproduction in bacteria, but in certain cases we find the sexual reproduction. Now, what is very significant about the bacterial sexual reproduction is there is no formation of new bacterial cell. So sexual reproduction, there is no formation of new bacterial cells. So true sense we can't call it reproduction. But why we are calling it sexual reproduction? Because there is the intermingling of the genetic material. Cell formation is not there, but intermingling of genetic material, recombination of the genetic material is there, and so we are calling it sexual reproduction. Now, the first type is the transformation. What is transformation? Griffith and his colleagues explain transformation. Actually, you can see here, suppose this is the genetic material of the dead bacteria, and these bacteria which are competent enough can pick up this genetic material from the dead bacteria, dead bacteria, and can form there is the intermingling of the genetic material. Next is the conjugation. You can see here, when two bacteria, one with this plasmid is there and another without plasmid, then what happens? This plasmid replicates, a conjugation tube is formed by the pili, and that pili forms a conjugation tube, and the plasmid replicates, and one copy of the plasmid moves to the next one. So this is conjugation. Clear? So this is also, you can see here, only there is a mixing of genetic material. Another one is the transduction. In this transduction, this bacteriophage, clear, the genetic material bacteriophage enters in the bacteria and get attached with the bacterial chromosome, and then finally new bacteriophage are formed where the genetic material contains a part of the bacterial chromosome. And when these bacteriophage may attack the new bacteria, the part of when this genetic material is attached to this bacteria, you can see here both the genetic material of the virus as well as the part of the bacterial genetic material of that former bacteria is attached. Clear? So here there is also a incorporation of the genetic material, so it is also called the sexual reproduction. Now, significance of bacteria. If you go on for the significance of bacteria, it is a huge. Variously, it is important it is advantageous as well as disadvantageous. But here we can discuss few of them. First of all, antibiotic production, like streptomycin. Streptomyces griseus produces antibiotic streptomycin. Many other bacteria there which helps in antibiotic production. They are very good decomposers. They clean our environment. Numerous bacteria there which act as decomposers. Next, another important function of bacteria is the nitrogen fixation. We know that many bacteria are nitrogen fixers. Some of them are symbiotic like Rhizobium. Some of them are non-symbiotic, free-living like Azotobacter. So it increases the fertility of the soil. It's very important for us. And many other products are produced like Lactobacillus helps in formation of curd. Propionibacterium helps in formation of the cheese. So milk products are also produced by the bacteria. And our bacteria are also, they have a negative role also. We know all that many diseases are caused due to bacteria, both for plants and animals. So many diseases are caused due to bacteria, like typhoid caused by Salmonella typhi, tetanus caused by Clostridium tetani, diphtheria caused by Corynebacterium diphtheri, leprosy caused by Mycobacterium lepri, cholera caused by Vibrio cholerae. Some plant diseases are potato wilt caused by Pseudomonas, citrus canker caused by Xanthomonas. Clear? And apart from these, there are various other activities also by bacteria, like single cell protein. Many bacteria are used for production of single cell, like Methylophilus, Methylotropus. They are used for single cell for getting the single cell proteins, and many bacteria are used for production of vitamin, like riboflavin is produced from Clostridium, and pollution control also done by various bacteria like Azotobacter and all, and also harmful effect like the spoilage of food, and this denitrification. All these are the economic importance of bacteria. And next we'll discuss about certain features of Archaebacteria. You can see here certain features of Archaebacteria. Clear? So what are the features of Archaebacteria? Now they are the oldest living fossil. You know what the living fossil who remain as such from that primitive age. Clear? So these are the oldest living fossil. The cell wall lacks peptidoglycan. How they are different from the bacteria? The cell wall lacks peptidoglycan. Instead, they have a separate polysaccharide with certain amino acids, but that is not peptidoglycan. Cell wall lacks peptidoglycan, and the cell membrane also does not contain the similar type of lipids, phospholipid, but what they cause normally cell membrane is a phospholipid and protein, but here the cell membrane is made up of phytanyl side chain, clear, with glycerol.